Hey guys, this is Jordan from Rapido, and normally I'd have a co-host for these videos. I don't know what happened to that guy, but he's not here anymore, so I'm just going to move over and do this myself. Anyways, it's August 2025, and we have a whole bunch of new announcements to give you. First off, we're going to look at my personal favorite in this round of announcements, the Southern Pacific Car and Foundry Class 66 B2 economy baggage cars. Let's look into it right now. In the late 1950s, the Southern Pacific found itself with a large fleet of pre-war heavyweight baggage and mail express cars, and they were worn out and ready for retirement. In 1962, the Southern Pacific took delivery of 100 cars from the Pacific Car and Foundry. The first 65 were classified as Mail Baggage Express, or MBE cars, which were just very rudimentary. They didn't have any heating or sanitary facilities, just some lights, just somewhere to store baggage. The second batch of cars included messenger facilities, very basic ones at that, but they had heating, a bathroom, and these can be identified by the 4 additional roof vents. Now, from 1962, these were pressed into service all across the SP system. You had them on famous SP trains like the Lark, the Coast Daylights, the San Joaquin Daylights, the Sunset Limited, the Shasta Daylights, and many, many more. In 1971, when Amtrak was formed, SP pretty much put most of the economy baggage cars out of service or put them into maintenance away service. In 1972, Amtrak found that they needed some extra baggage cars for their new system and leased, I believe it was 13 cars. These did not contain any Amtrak lettering or numbering or anything. They were as delivered, an SP car, Southern Pacific lettering. They had an ACI label attached to the side of the car, which is something different from when they were delivered in 62. Now, in 1978, Amtrak decided to purchase a number of these cars, and they received full Phase 2 Amtrak paint schemes. And they lasted in this service for several years until Amtrak had their entire fleet converted to head-end power. In 1984, SP took 2 of the Amtrak cars and converted them to head-end power to use on their executive trains. When the merger with the Union Pacific happened in 1996, they were ultimately retired, but the Alaska Railroad picked them up, and they both can actually be still seen in service today. Now, our models represent many of the different economy baggage cars that were built by PCF and seen in service all across the United States. These are just packed with detail, separate metal grab irons, separate ladders, full underbodies, both body styles, either with the early or the late doors. And of course, for the HEP generator car for the business train, we are also doing sound. This will have Mo Sound, as we're calling it. These are actually going into tooling very soon, so we hope to have some samples either late in 2025 or early 26, and I can't wait to have these, so hopefully these will be out kind of late 2026, somewhere in that range. Very cool. I'm going to have several of those along with my dome cars. Next up, for your transition modelers in the US, we have the latest version of our Northeastern Caboose.
The Northeast Caboose was one of the most ubiquitous cabooses in, well, the Northeast. Originally designed by the Redding Company in the early 1920s, these popular cabooses soldiered on with many different roads, all the way until the end of the mandatory caboose era in the late 1980s and in some cases even beyond. The earliest cars had solid underframes, which we will feature in this release with all new tooling. Later cars were equipped with Duria cushion underframes, which we are also bringing back from the previous run. Different groups of cars were equipped with different trucks, running boards, steps, grabs, and end wall windows, or lack thereof, and we will replicate all these variations with the usual Rapido level of detail. And for the first time, we'll be including Mo-Power capacitors for uninterrupted lighting. Along with some returning favorites, we'll be bringing you a bunch of new paint schemes, including Lehigh Valley's bicentennial scheme, just in time for America's sesquicentennial, or as it's also known as, the semi-quincentennial next year.
So next up, we have actually a relaunch of a project we announced some time ago, and it's been much anticipated, and this is our all-new HO scale EMD SW9 switchers. Now, not only are we relaunching this project, we have a couple of new road names and paint schemes to add on, so why don't we have a closer look at those right now?
From November 1950 to December of 1953, nearly 800 SW9s were built at EMD's LaGrange, Illinois production facility, with another 28 rolling out of GMD's London, Ontario plant for Canadian National and Canadian Pacific. The SW9 was outfitted with the popular 567B prime mover, while a handful received the upgraded 567BC prime movers that would later be the power of the SW1200 series. Hey look, Northeastern Cabooses! Ours will be delivered in much better condition though. This massively successful yard and local switcher were purchased by a staggering 69 different railroads, from industrial roads to short lines to the Class 1s. Some are actually still running today. Our HO scale SW9 will feature highly detailed cab interior, see-through metal etched parts, many road-specific details, heavy die-cast frames, die-cast gearboxes for added weight, Rapido semi-scale metal knuckle couplers, full LED lighting including operating beacons or flashing lights where appropriate. DCC sound units will be equipped with Locksound V5 decoders with Mo power capacitors for uninterrupted DCC power. In addition to our previously announced schemes, we've added a couple of new ones including Industrial Blue and Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo. Fun fact, the Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo Railway did not actually go to either Toronto or Buffalo, but it sure was a pretty scheme.
So that's a quick look at all the new product announcements we have for August 2025. We'll be back soon for updates on all these products and many more, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully by then I will have a new, or maybe get my co-host back, who knows. By the way, who the heck is editing these videos anyway? Anyways, we will see you in the next one.
Lunatics!